2017 in review, 2018 coming up. Welcome in, much love, Trav here. Wow, if you've been following me, it's been absolutely crazy, insane, wild adventure of a year with the people that I met, the places that I've been, the new experiences that I've acquired, the books that I've read, the trainings that I've done, the wild random places that I ended up, and the clarity that I've got, and the ups and the downs and the changes of plans and so on. So welcome and much love, Trav here. Today, I invite you to follow along with me and reflect on your own last year, 2017, and start to think about 2018 goals, intentions, plans, 2017, ending with the big fat to be continued 2018 coming up. So, it's always a good thing to do. Always a good thing to do when you go on a trip around the globe, or a trip around the sun, to meditate and kind of think about, what did I learn? What happened? Where am I now? Where am I going? That sort of a thing. So I always like to do this at the end of the year. I'm recording this the day before Christmas, so there's still a week for some wild stuff to happen at the end of this year. It's possible. But it's, I think, a good time to spend not just one day, but a whole week kind of thinking about going through the lessons. So first, I want to talk about logistically what happened this year. And you can listen, you can kind of think about your own situation. But I had a crazy, crazy year logistically, starting off in California, and then flying to Ireland, and then going to Sweden, staying with some friends and meeting up with some cousins in the other side of Sweden, and then flying down to France and working on this France retreat trip, and then meeting my business mentor in Barcelona, visiting a surf friend outside of Santander, continuing up to Amsterdam, Utrecht for a tournament, flying through, this is just the start of the year, flying through Reykjavik on my way back to California, San Francisco, stay with my buddy, and roll up from there back to California for a minute, but then go to San Antonio, go down to Texas, go down to Mexico, go down to Mexico City, Puerto Escondido, and back, and meet a bunch of people and go on a wild surf adventure, and go play some Magic and stay with some unexpected people, and continue off to the East Coast, DC, see some friends, stay with some friends out there, playing some Magic tournaments, and work out and train this whole time, and fly back to, I think I went back to California at this point for a month, and went off to Vegas, and then down to LA, and then back to California, finally cut my lease on what was not the best living situation, and cut my ties there. I flew off to Japan for a couple weeks, and then went to Hawaii and worked on the farm, and had an awesome experience doing hard work, teamwork, farm work, physical labor for 3 months, and grinding it out over there, and doing online business and training and working out and learning and sharing and YouTubing. And then from there to New Mexico, to Vegas, to prepare for tournaments in Albuquerque and in Phoenix and in Portland, and back to Seattle for the holidays. And just when I thought I was about to continue with this Magic thing, I wrote a book, released that, sold a bunch of copies, but then got suspended from Magic for a year because of a troll Facebook group that I funneled all the trolls into, and was totally unmoderated, and Wizards got political and decided it got too much attention. They wanted to shut that down, and boom, suspended me off the tour. Made some last minute plans and went to Colorado for a week, visited my friends, and now back here and moving back to the farm on the 31st. At the end of the year, starting 2018, waking up in Hawaii is my plan, is my new plan. So that was a crazy, crazy year logistically. What are some of the things that I've learned? I'm still ruminating on this. One thing that I've really learned is that you can only plan so far ahead, really. I mean, you can project out and have a good idea, but really unexpected things can happen, and you just don't know. So this year I really learned that I think it's better to play the present as much as possible. Try to make your individual days better. Try to have good days, you know. That's all that we experience and have to make the most of it, because you don't know. You can make all these plans and sacrifice for the future that never comes because random shit happens. And yeah, so this year I feel great about that. It was a year of action for me. I lived in the present. When in doubt, I did. I booked some random trips, adventures that I wasn't sure about. I approached and talked to strangers. I just showed up places and I made it work. And I did it my way, And that was another lesson to me, is in the past I had been a lot more passive or not, a lot more cautious. And this year I was a lot less risk averse. I realized, hey, I've got one life to live. My time's counting down a little bit. I need to go for it. I need to take some action right now. And that was reinforced because I had a lot of success doing that. I've had a lot of success this year in business and social media and relationships and just getting clarity and better idea of what I wanted. And I feel really good with how the year is ending, because for me, a lot of my journey and my search and my traveling over the years has been, and this is something to think about, you may have a different strategy, but finding the best place for me to live, for me to live for an extended period of time. I like Seattle, and I'll always be back to Seattle to visit my friends and families in the wintertime, especially, as long as they're here and they're alive. But I don't think it's the best place for me to live. It's colder and darker and wetter than is necessary for me. And for my skin, which gets dark, I don't get enough vitamin D. I don't have as much energy. So, I travel the world and try out different lifestyles. Do I want to be a basketball player? Do I want to be a surfer? Do I want to be, I knew I didn't want to do cubicles. Do I want to do online business, YouTube, edit? What is the physical trainer? Well, I found that two things. I like farming and I like Hawaii. Hawaii makes sense and is not going to make as much sense to everyone else, but I look Hawaiian, I don't necessarily sound Hawaiian, but that's a reason for me to be there. And then I found I really like the farm work, and it's really nice to have gotten that clarity and kind of broken off with magic and head in this direction and start the next chapter with knowing, hey, that's what I want. And for some of you, there's a sequence, because you look at what you want in life. You want to be in the right place. You want to be in a relationship with the right person, at least for a time. You want to, be doing the work that you want and so on. And I really am a strong believer in that location location and work is the most important thing, and the other stuff come later, because you can, I meet someone special in Europe. I'm not going to be out there, so it's irrelevant. The logistics don't work. But once I'm in Hawaii doing the stuff that I want, then my relationships can bloom around there, around the logistics, around the work, right? So that's one thing that I've definitely learned as well, is like, key to relationships, right place, right time, Key to relationships, doing the work that you want to be doing in the place that you want to be doing. You have to unlock yourself and get yourself in the right position for that stuff to happen. So yeah, I look forward to that, where I've got the location and the work parts of my life pretty well sorted out now, or a lot more so. And I can spend a lot of energy and time on building richer relationships. Because that's another thing that I learned, is you look at that travel lifestyle, it was fun. And I met a lot of people, and I met so many people. That was insane. And I met people under a variety of circumstances. Introductions, being in the same circle, being in the same place, cold approach, warm approach. I met people in a variety of circumstances. But I was never anywhere for more than a month or 2 weeks outside of Hawaii, where I was for 3 months. So all my relationships have been lacking depth, lacking continuity, right? So that's a big downside to that, and that was a sacrifice for this year and really the last 4 years. But now that I kind of figured it out, if I want to, I can stay in Hawaii for the next year and have the possibility of more continuity, have the chance at more continuity in all my relationships, and work on building in particular place. So that's kind of the next stage of my life, and what 2017 has been really good for, and really about Other things that I learned in 2017. I worked out hard. You can see from this picture, I'm in good shape. I worked out hard. I put in a lot of work. I've walked every day. I did weights very consistently. I've swam, I've cycled, I played basketball, I've done farm work, I've trained, I've done all this. I eat good food on the farm. I spent $40 to $50 a day on food from Metropolitan Market and Whole Foods while traveling, and so worth it. You know, as I travel around, I see the sorts of shape people in. I'm in the top 1 percentile in terms of fitness for people 27, really, and that's not because of genes. It's so much as just desire to be there and to work for it and put in the time. And I look at my friends who are in good shape in their early 20s or their teens who haven't optimized for health or adventure, have instead of optimized for a good, safe job. And they've been frugal with their food, and it's just obvious. You can tell their shapes, they're more injured, their hormones are off, they're just not, you know, I've continued to bloom and go through like a second puberty almost, while my friends are like growing, you know, doing the opposite. And it's like, well, that was something that I've done right, and it's something I want to continue in 2018. And there's certain challenges to that I have to confront, you know. I need to, with the farm work, it can be a challenge to get enough sleep, which can be harmful at the farm. It can be challenged to always get good food. Often the food on the farm is good, but you know, it's like, I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna buy a car so that I can go get the good food. And also that's part of the battle of living on Hawaii. The food isn't great because there's a million people and a small amount of land. And that's part of why I enjoy that mission out there. And that's another thing that I learned in 2017. What makes good days? And fulfillment is a big part of that. You know, I've had the blessing to try out so many different styles of life. And, you know, basketball and surf are fun. They're not necessarily fulfilling things, though. Having a lot of free time and working out and going on adventures, random adventures, and hanging out with people, meeting people, going for hikes and stuff like that, that's fun. It's not necessarily fulfilling. What's really fulfilling is volunteer work, is charity work, actually, is putting in time to help people. That feels great, you know. When I'm helping people through YouTube and when I'm helping people through physical labor and through my own body and my own mind, and I'm actually feel like I'm making a difference in something that matters, those make good days. So that's what I've really found to enjoy about the farm work is like, yeah, sometimes it's tedious, it's boring, it's not always easy on the body. But at the end of the day, I feel good about myself for doing it. I feel good about myself physically. I feel good about myself mentally. So, you know, I like to volunteer, and that's something that I learned. I want to go more and more in that direction and just volunteer my time, you know, still run my online business and work for free also, you know. I had a situation on the farm where I was paying money to work for free, and it felt awesome. It felt great. Here, take my money and my time. Hell yeah, you know. I believe in this organization. I want to make a difference here. So that's something that I learned as well. Let's see, what else has 2017 been about that I've learned from? More self-awareness as well. Some personality tests that I've taken, and just looking inside, becoming more aware of who I am and how I can change, and some things I may not be able to change, and just becoming kind of aware who I am has been useful. And another thing, I've gotten better this year about speaking my truth and not biting my tongue as much and saying the necessary thing, but saying it in such a way that it's respect and the other person can appreciate. That's something that I've gotten better at. Trauma as well, and drama, you know. One thing that was major this year was my suspension. I didn't let it break me or break my spirit, because I already kind of, for one, well, I have a backup plan of going and kind of pursuing what I want. Like, going to a bunch of magic tournaments is definitely not the most fulfilling life compared to what else I could do. So I wasn't too beat up about that, but it was embarrassing, a bit humiliating, and I know it affected the way that a lot of people saw me, but I was happy with the way that I handled it. Like, I've been through that before. And the last time I cried, this time I didn't. I knew what to do. This time my business did not suffer from it. It grew from it. You know, I was able to make the most and take something that looks super bad and turn it into good. And I'm really happy with that I was able to do that. And that's exciting. So I may come back with more lessons from 2017 to 2018. There's just so much. I'm just gonna keep rambling for a little bit. One other thing that I learned is like there isn't always a clearly right play in life. There definitely isn't. You can all of the time choose your own adventure. Do the sort of thing you want to do. Choose your own character. Be who you want to be. It's okay. You can do you. There's not necessarily, you know, what's right for someone is not right for you. So if you're not sure, you can go with your gut. You can talk it over with people, but it's just do what makes sense to you and go for it. So that's another important lesson that I've learned. And yeah, you know, things can change fast. I'm looking for 2018 because as good as 2017 was, you know, I was on a lease that I didn't like for half the year with people that wasn't a good fit for half the year. I you know, had some lonely and cold times traveling between these places, and it was mentally difficult. And I think I can do it better in 2018. I think I can spend the majority of the year in situations that I really like and build off all those experiences to improve my current situation and not just travel because Magic told me to travel to certain places, but go to where I want to go. You know, there's certain things I want to do. Go on a vision quest to China, ancestral grounds. I don't know if that will happen this year. Go to Oceania. There's a few things that I want to do that Magic wasn't going to take me towards, and now it's under my control. So I'm excited about that. It's going to be good. So, we're going to also be looking into 2018, some of my goals and intentions and plans. Those of you who want help with 2018, I can help you. 1-year life transformation. Now's a good time to sign up. Make 2018 and 2019 the best year of your life, the most transformational year of your life. There should be a link in the description, freelivinggoals.com/life transformation. Sign up for the video course. Get on the phone with me. Get somebody in your corner who can help. Get somebody in your corner who cares. Get somebody in your corner who you can bounce ideas off of and blast off even faster. So go check that out. Thank you for listening. Appreciate you. Much love, and let's speak soon. Peace.